Hello ladies and gentlemen. We put together this presentation for parents of those children who are joining us in Year 7 in September 2021, mindful of the fact that you were unable to visit us in person this year. I'm Anne-Marie McNaney and I'm the head teacher here, and also involved in this presentation is Owen Pearce, one of our house leaders who has responsibility for Year 7. Our aim this evening is to outline the things we think you need to know about your child's transition to secondary school. We know that there are lots of concerns, and this is more so the case this year, given you haven't been able to visit us in person and nor has your child been able to visit for their transition day. We also want to tell you that when you come back in September, there will be a follow-up meeting once your child has started, which will very much focus on the academic aspect, what your child will be learning. We know that for many parents, the worries that they have now are about the nuts and bolts of the transition, and that's what we're going to deal with in this presentation. I'm delighted that you chose Cheshire Grammar School for your child. I think it is a superb school, one which I've chosen for my own two sons, one of whom is just leaving Year 13 and the other of whom is just coming to the end of Year 10. I'd like to congratulate your child on navigating the Buckinghamshire selection system. We're lucky to live in a part of the country where we have access to so many outstanding schools. And almost every child at Cheshire Grammar School will know someone who would love to have been sitting where they'll be sitting in September. We expect our students to make the very most of the opportunities on offer, both in and out of the classroom. Your child will be what we will call throughout their time here the class of 2028. Most of our students stay on from Year 11 into the sixth form, and we see it very much as our job to help prepare them for adulthood, for life outside our school gates. And they join us as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed children in Year 7, and by the time they leave us, they are confident, articulate, and well-rounded adults ready for life ahead. We know that the transition to secondary school is a worrying time as well as an exciting one for children and also for their parents. And there are lots of things that children and parents will be worried about. Will my child get lost? Will they make friends? Will they settle in? Will they keep up with the pace and challenge of a grammar school? And will they cope with the transition from a small school to a much bigger one? The answer to all of these things will ultimately be yes. But sometimes there are hiccups along the way, and we are highly skilled at enabling the students to settle in, welcoming 180 new students every September. So the road your child is about to travel is one that really is a well-trodden one. As you would expect, Cheshire Grammar School has very high standards. We expect the students to behave impeccably, to show good manners at all times and courtesy to others. We expect them to wear their uniform with pride wherever they are, because whenever they're wearing our uniform, they're representing our school. Above all else, we expect them to work hard and to have a go. And one of the things we talked to them about from the very start of Year 7 is the CGS Learner, which places an emphasis not just on working hard academically, but also on developing skills such as perseverance and risk-taking. We see failure as an inevitable and important part of learning, and it really is important that the students are willing to have a go. We want students to get involved in school life. There really is something for everyone at CGS, whether it's sport, music, drama, chess, whatever you want, it's there for you. And we always encourage them to try something new when they arrive, to try a different club they've never tried before, and just to throw themselves in, because we really do believe in the adage that you get out of school life what you'll put into it. Homework's often a concern for the children and their parents when they arrive in September. We do ease them in gently, as students can expect 2 to 3 pieces of homework an evening, and often parents and children will worry about what happens if they forget their homework. Again, all the teachers will be accommodating and will make sure that we ease them in gently and we take great care of them when they start. Attendance is important. Obviously it's been difficult this year with COVID, where unusually for us as head teachers, we've had to sometimes tell students to stay at home for 10 days if they're self-isolating. But by and large, in any normal year, and we're very much hoping to be back to normal in September, we expect students to be here unless they are simply too ill to do so. We'll talk to you about this in more detail in September. One of the questions parents often ask at this stage is who will my child be with in September? We have 6 teaching groups in each year group, and there are 30 or 31 students in each. They come from a range of primary schools, and we have around 40 or so feeder primary schools, with some children coming on their own from their primary school and some children coming with a number of their friends. If they're coming with someone else or with others, we do try and put them with somebody they will recognise, but it really isn't very long at all before new friendships are formed. Our 6 teaching groups remain in place broadly for Year 7, Year 8 and into Year 9. There is no setting or streaming in any of the subjects, with the exception of maths, where there is some setting in Year 8 with a top set and then some parallel sets sitting underneath those. Although it's really important to note that at the end of Year 11, every single student in the year group will sit the higher paper, and most of the students go on to get a grade 7 to 9 at GCSE. We also have 52 vertical tutor groups, and although that's suspended for now, it's important that you understand how we put the student into those groups. As I mentioned earlier, there'll be 3 or 4 other students from your child's year group when they join that vertical tutor group with them each day, as well as 3 or 4 others from Year 8, Year 9, Year 10, 11, 12 and 13. For now, they'll be in a tutor group which is the same as their teaching group. So they'll have a form tutor who will look after the 30 or 31 Year 7s until we go back to vertical tutor groups. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Pearce, Head of Year 7, who will be looking after your sons and daughters as they join the school, and he'll say a little bit about the house system and what you can expect between now and September.
Good evening. Our house system consists of 4 houses: Austin, Darwin, Franklin and Shakespeare, each led by a house leader. Your sons and daughters will be placed in a house in preparation for September, and the house that they will remain in for the next 7 years. Within each house there are 13 tutor groups, of which your sons and daughters will also be placed in. Throughout the year, your sons and daughters will get the opportunity to participate in various house events such as house performing arts, house sports, house art and enterprise days, as well as many more which go towards the awarding of the house cup at the end of the school year. Each house has 13 house tutor groups, and all of the pupils spend 20 minutes each day in these groups, which consist of 3 or 4 pupils from each year group and are led by a member of the teaching staff, who will in many cases be supported by a co-tutor. Each tutor group has approximately 25 pupils, and so everyone will get to know each other very well. We find that the older pupils within these groups are excellent mentors to younger students, both academically and socially, and they will be instrumental in helping your sons and daughters to settle quickly and adjust to the routines and demands of secondary school. Your sons or daughters' house tutor will monitor their academic progress and deal with routine day-to-day issues. They also provide an important link between home and school, and in time I'm sure you'll get to know them well. The house tutor will be the first port of call in most cases when you as parents would like to make contact with the school. If there are any issues in which you would like to make us aware of, please use the tutor as his first port of call. However, if you would like to talk to a member of the pastoral team, then please contact the school by phone or by email and you will be directed to the relevant person. I'm certain that there will be a healthy mix of excitement, anticipation and nerves, and that will just be you as parents. We will be writing to you to inform you of your sons and daughters' teaching group for next year, as well as reminding them which house and house tutor group they are in. If it hasn't been done already, your sons and daughters' mode of transport to school will be confirmed over the summer. And please do note that we as a school are not responsible for these transport arrangements. However, please do contact County should you have any queries. If your sons and daughters are using the bus, I would suggest that they arrive at their pickup stop slightly earlier than the stated time, as there can be some teething problems in the early days. However, we do find that these are resolved quite quickly. Please keep us up to date with any changes that may arise over the rest of this term and during the summer in order to keep our records up to date. There are also some contact details at the end of this presentation which will be highlighted. For pupils to thrive at secondary school and make the most of their talents, we know that they need to feel confident, valued and supported, and this year is no different. We know that their induction will mainly take place in September, and so on their first day at Chesham Grammar School, the school will be a little bit quieter than usual. They'll get the chance to see the school in action when it's not quite so busy, and they will have an opportunity to become more acquainted with other Year 7 pupils. For the vast majority, our effective induction, clear routines, and a good dose of excitement and anticipation are all it takes for newcomers to settle remarkably quickly. Many schools have very similar routines day to day. However, I thought I would take this opportunity to highlight a few of our routines that will aid your sons and daughters' transition to CGS. These points came from the discussions with our current Year 7 and 8 pupils. Firstly, the timings of the school day. We do have a long morning session with the day beginning at 8:45 and our lunch beginning at 1:40. Our break time is at 11:10, so many of our students will eat lunch during break, so I would suggest that a healthy snack would be a good idea to get them through to lunchtime. Each school day consists of 5 one-hour lessons and our day ends at 3:40. In terms of nerves, as part of our virtual and in-person visit programme this year, we have discussed that nerves are a natural part of new beginnings and new environments, such as transferring from primary to secondary school. We have explained that we too will be nervous about them starting because we want them to start in a positive manner at Chesham Grammar School. Packing your bag. Packing your bag the night before can help your sons and daughters to familiarise themselves with our 2-week timetable. Remove the possibility of forgetting equipment, especially PE kit, and indeed prevent the anxious search or sometimes chaotic morning rush to find their science book, for example. Getting lost. Inevitably, with a school site which is bigger, your sons and daughters will feel out of their comfort zone. We issue them with a map and teachers will be giving them some flexibility and taking into consideration that in the first few weeks they will be familiarising themselves with the different areas of the school. They can, however, use the older students to guide them in these first few weeks. Friendship groups. As I'm sure you are aware, with more pupils and different interests, friendship groups that were so secure at primary schools can change slightly, and it can be an unsettling time. We always encourage our pupils to get involved in as many clubs or extracurricular activities as they can. This will then expose them to new opportunities to develop relationships with their current friends as well as fostering new ones. The use of lockers. The Year 7 lockers are situated around the school, but in particular the English and History, IT and Technology corridors. It's great having a locker, but using it efficiently may be a different matter. We have seen on numerous occasions Year 7 pupils with bags that are bigger than they are, and in some cases way more than they do. Encourage your sons and daughters to plan their day into chunks. Before school, a lot of our Year 7s are in the habit of dropping their books off and only carrying the necessary books for lesson 1 and 2. At break, they replace those books with those needed for lesson 3 and 4, and the same occurs at lunch and after school, including remembering to take home their homework. There are many opportunities to get involved in a broad range of extracurricular activities at CGS, so we thought that you may wish to view an example of the current programme of extracurricular. This of course will be updated and you will be made aware of this ready for September. We have now received your transfer information with lots of details on regarding your sons and daughters, and where possible we've made many virtual and in-person visits to primary schools in order to gain more information about them. If you do have any further questions, or your sons and daughters do have any further questions or last minute questions over the summer, please do use these email addresses below in order to make contact. As you can see, the CGS Transition 2021 email address has been created for your sons and daughters to contact us with any last minute questions that they may have to gain further insight into the workings of Chesham Grammar School. I know that you will also have received the link of induction materials, and again, that provides a snapshot of what we will do in Chesham Grammar School. So finally, I really hope that your sons and daughters are looking forward to joining Chesham Grammar School, and I'm sure that you are as eager as we are to see them start their secondary school careers at Chesham Grammar School. Thank you.
So finally, I'd just like to reiterate that we are really looking forward to meeting our new Year 7s, the class of 2028 in September. We also look forward to a long and fulfilling relationship with you, their parents. And as I said at the start, we know that this is an exciting time for your child and for you, but that it also can be daunting and there can be lots of questions that you may have. Please get in touch. No question is ever too small, and we will be able to help you and point you in the right direction if you need some advice and further support. All that remains for me to say is to wish you all a good summer and to say we very much look forward to meeting you in September. Thank you.